Hello folks, it is I, Noob Mister. We are here with the Game Time Podcast where we talk about life gaming
and all that good stuff in between.
Yay!
Squeaky
Fantastical!
voices.
Yes. I'm trying to do a bit of a gimmicky thing here where every podcast I try speaking with a different voice to do the introduction because yay, variety and all that shit.
So that's what he did last time.
What was that a reference to? Because you did a voice while you were doing that, so that must have been a reference to something.
Wasn't intended to be a reference. It was just an exaggerated, I don't know. It was just a voice.
Just an exaggerated kind of almost like stereotypical thing of, so that was what he was up to. I see now. But yes, of course, I am being joined by Mike Set, who is just as vocally talented as me, I guess. Maybe.
No, not exactly.
Yes, Ronald Weasley.
It's Leviosa.
Leviosa.
Oh.
No, let us just speak. Let us do the rest of the podcast like this. Oh.
Let's not.
I was going to say maybe not, because that is not a fun thing for the listeners. But anyway, getting on with the podcast, life. Let us talk about life. So, Mikey boy, anything happening in the life department with you?
Live in shit for me this week.
Oh, how come?
Well, what do you think? My sleeping routine was out of whack at the last moment on Sunday, which meant Monday I start work. Twice in a row, I went to work without any sleep and was practically zombie half of the time, and just struggling to stay awake until halfway through work, where my body would then decide to go into overclock mode. Though that only half worked on the second day, because my energy didn't remain. I hate it when that happens, because when I finally do get home, I'm somehow not falling asleep immediately. Why am I struggling to get to sleep? I was ready to pass out. Can I please have that moment back now? Nope, I'm in overclock mode. Fuck you! Stop! You're gonna make me sleep twice! And I did! Because I got woken up by Zacharias giving me a call on the mobile phone, letting me know that you and everyone else was ready for the second D&D session. I decided to take a nap straight after that. And I went to sleep until... Hold on, let me check my calendar. I can tell you. So
basically fell asleep in the future.
So I basically went back to bed after... hold on. After it was about 1 a.m. And then I woke up at 3:30 p.m.
So basically, he slept until like late in the afternoon.
Yeah, I almost slept for a full 12 hours. At least I feel like it was that. And I only woke up because my big brother came barging in to see if I was okay, because the cleaner lady was knocking at the door because my bell stopped working. And I was woken up and I was like, wait, she's at the door? How long have I slept? Shit! And plus, I was planning on going shopping that morning before the cleaner lady came around. And, well, she did. And the bell wasn't working. She was out there for a good while, trying to get a hold of me. But she didn't have my new mobile phone number. And the bell wasn't working. So she called my big brother over to check on me.
So just this moment where you're just waking up and your brother's barging in and you're just like, what's going on? Who are you? What are you doing in my house? Oh no, wait, you're my brother. Hello, brother. What are you but still, what are you doing in my house? The cleaner lady was at the door, you say? And what's that, Lassie? Timmy fell down the well? We'll deal with that later. The cleaner lady's at the door.
But yeah, shortly after, we got back to having Red vs. Blue series playing on my computer while we cleaned around the house.
And of course, you went and did your shopping earlier today.
I went and did it late night with Dad because I also had to pick up cans of soft drink, and well, I can't fit those in my shopping basket, and I don't want to because they'll break it. They're heavy.
Really?
So,
What's your shopping basket thing made out of anyway?
well, I don't. I'm pretty sure it might be able to carry it, but I'm not risking it. It's a good shopping cart, and I'm not having it break.
Well, they can't be that heavy, can they? They're probably only like less than a kilo. I mean, unless you're like buying tons in one
Well,
go.
Well, listen here. I've had everything breaking on me lately. Let me go over this. My toilet stopped functioning correctly. My sink stopped functioning correctly. My bell stopped functioning at all. And then my headset strap for my VR set broke. Everything's been breaking lately. I didn't need a fifth.
Okay, that's understandable. And I can
Thank
relate to that as well, because there are times where I'm just like, okay, I'm financially stable at the moment. I can afford to pay my rent, I can afford to buy food, I can pay all my bills, everything's hunky-dory. Then a load of stuff starts breaking, I'm just like, oh god damn it, I'm gonna have to pay out for this, aren't I? Every time I'm like, yes, I have my finances under control, things start breaking that I have to pay out for to fix. It is so annoying.
At least you didn't have to go to your brother's house just to use the toilet.
He only lives just across the road, doesn't he?
Still, I have to go across, and if he's there, I had to basically borrow an extra spare of keys so I could go in. But I also had to make sure I don't let the budgies out by accident.
What, he just lets the budgies fly around on their own?
Well, when they're home, and that's when I need to be careful.
Ah, right, so when they're home, you have to be careful, but when he's not there, I'm obviously guessing they shut up. I just thought he just let the budgies fly around as they, as they wanted to.
You'll immediately get that impression he does
system.
when you see there's bits of feathers and even bird poop here and there. He cleans up well, but he doesn't clean up his computer chairs. You can see that they're drenched in bird shit.
Yo. I mean, I know my chair's kind of falling apart and then I've got bits peeling off of it, and it's probably not lasted as long as it should have done, but still. Bird poop? You sit on that thing. Don't sit on bird poop.
Not on the actual seat part, but on the top part where your head sits, and a little bit on the armrests.
Yeah, but still, you get you get bird poop in your hair.
But speaking of poop, again, I had to go to my brother's for a while just to poop.
Yeah, thanks. We really wanted to know that bit of information.
What, now you're stopping me because I just said the word poop instead of anything else?
No, with bird poop, it's just like, yeah, birds are disgusting. That's kind of common knowledge, but...
We were already talking about the toilet. What else do you think that implies? But anyway, and then after that, that whole thing, I then noticed that no matter how tight I tighten the two little knobs on my sink in my bathroom, it's still dripping. I'm wasting water.
Yeah, I had a problem with that at my last place. The taps all just kept leaking, and it was just costing me a fortune in terms of water. But now that I'm in this place, none of the taps leak, so at least I'm saving money there every month. Although, admittedly, I've now had... I used to get 2 water bills. One was for supplying the water to my property, and another one was for taking water and sort of waste water out. But after a while, the companies just went, you know what, people are just getting confused on which ones are which, because, admittedly, at one point, I did actually not pay one of those bills, because I thought I was paying it for on the other bill, or I got the bills mixed up or something, so I did get a warning letter through the post at one point going, you haven't paid this bill. I'm just like, what? I'm pretty sure I have. And then I checked the names, so I was just like, oh, they're different companies. So, yeah, they eventually just decided, you know what, people are just getting confused with this shit. Let's just put it all into one bill and just do it that way. And they have. Does admittedly mean that I have to pay a little bit more per month, but at least now I know that it won't get to like 6 months and then I have to pay like a 50, 60 quid bill. So, yeah, that's life, kids. Once you reach a certain age, you have to start paying for your own stuff. You can't rely on your parents anymore. So, yeah, life in general is just kind of sucky once you've reached a certain age. But by that point, hopefully, you've learned how to deal with it. I kind of have myself, but that's through a lot of trial and error and personal suffering.
Wait, how old are you again?
I'm 31.
Oh boy, I'm getting
I've
close to that
I've
area,
pretty much been in debt for like the entirety of my 20s.
I haven't reached that age yet, but I don't even know how bill pays are done and whatnot. They seem to be automatic around here.
Yeah,
I
that's
just simply
probably
ask
because
mom
it's
and
all done by direct debit. It's just
yeah,
like, yeah,
debit.
you tell them your bank details, or you give them a card, and they're just like, yeah, we'll just take out the amount out of your account every month as and when we need to. So yeah,
Yeah, and I
it
just
works
get
like that over here
emails when
too.
they do that.
hmm
Yeah, so I don't really know that much about that stuff, and which means I'm still relying on mom and dad and the system.
Well, you've got a reason for it because you're I can't remember, was it mildly autistic or something?
I'm autistic, yes, you could simply say, but if you were after the specific, it was high functioning Asperger's syndrome.
Okay.
Mm.
I don't know what sort of levels that counts as, but you've got
And I
a
notice I keep
reason.
leaning forward to the monitor and away from the microphone. I gotta stop doing that. I'm so sorry.
No, that's all right. It's just that does mean that you're now a bit louder than you were previously, so I might have to turn you down just a tiny teeny bit.
No,
No.
no, dead.
No. Dang it!
Uh, but yeah, um, thankfully Dad was able to fix both the toilet and the sink with the only price of $8. He was able to get the parts,
How
and he
handy.
shows up by just simply saying, "And how much do you think that would cost to get an actual plumber to fix this crap?"
Probably near $100, I would have thought.
Yep, that's actually kind of what he said.
Yeah, a lot of the times it is just a lot quicker and a lot easier if you just go and fix it yourself. Just look up a guide online, find out what it is that, you need to do, and if it's simple enough, do it yourself.
And I immediately remarked after he fixed it, he said, "Oh, forget Mario and Luigi. You're the real Italian plumber here."
Except your dad's not Italian. He's an Australian plumber.
But out of all things that he got that one and said, "Mamma mia, let's go."
Well, of course,
I,
everybody knows Mario. Or is it Mario? I've heard people pronounce it Mario, but I pronounce it Mario.
Mario. I think it's another tomato. We were talking about the when I remarked that you said router instead
Yeah,
of
because
router.
I said router, and then Mike said router. Again, it's a bit like with people with Yoshi. They say Yoshi. No,
What about Tyranids and Tyranids?
I say Tyranids.
I used to always pronounce it Tyranids.
Yeah, again, it's a tomato thing.
I'm sure someone who's obsessed with Warhammer 40k is going to say, "No, that's the exception. You pronounce it Tyranids, not Tyranids."
Well, then again, there would have to be somebody who actually likes Warhammer 40k that listens to this podcast, but we all know that's not a thing, at least not yet. Anyway.
If someone actually responds to that, I would have to say, "Eat your words."
Yeah, I will eat all the humble pie that you can throw at me.
Seriously,
Every
if you ever
last
visit me
scrap.
again, I'm gonna make such awesome food dishes for you.
Yeah, I'd have to afford to be able to come back to Australia first. I'm still trying to pay off my mum, my sister, and my dad for the last time I came over.
And
And
remember, this time, you've got my phone number.
yay! I mean, I haven't actually put it in my phone yet, but I know it's on the Discord chat, so that I can always look it up and put it in. So, because the
Yeah, well,
last time
put
I
it in
came
your
over to
phone when you
Australia.
get the chance.
So this is a little story for people who don't know what I'm talking about. I think it was I think it was sometime in like 2015. Yeah, because the following year I then moved out of where I was previously and moved into where I am now. Um, I went to Australia because my dad was getting remarried because my parents divorced around about the time I was like 16, 17. Um, and yeah, of course, because it was such a big thing, I of course, needed to go to Australia to sort of be there for it. Major problem was that was back during a time when I was still, well, I was still financially struggling back then, so yeah, I basically had to rely on my sister to pay for my plane tickets. My dad paid for some sort of youth hostels to stay in while I was sort of going around, doing a bit of a walkabout in like Sydney and Melbourne. And my mum also gave me some spending money as well. Thing was, is that I still need to pay all of them back for that shit, and needless to say, I haven't really been able to do that recently. So, yeah, it's just a case of, if I'm ever going to do a trip to Australia again, I'm gonna have to pay those guys off first. I'm already financially struggling as it is. But anyway, back onto the main topic at hand. Yeah, when I was down in Melbourne, or when I was trying to, or while I was still in Sydney, not long before I came to Melbourne, me and Mike Set had kind of made a very sort of spur of the moment plan before I'd actually come to Australia to meet up while I was in Melbourne. The only problem was that I was using a different mobile number while I was over there because I was using a pay-as-you-go SIM card over there, so I didn't have to pay any sort of roaming charges on my phone. And the only thing was, I couldn't find a way of contacting you other than Skype to let you know that my number had changed. So eventually what happened was that I had to ask my dad to contact him on Skype to then give him the number so that he could then call me. So it was a bit of a roundabout way to do that. But yes, now that you've actually given me your number, assuming it doesn't change before, you know, like, at this rate, it's going to be like 2030 before I actually probably come over to visit again at the rate things are going at the moment. I am, you know, probably, you know, going to be able to have an easier time contacting you, to say the least.
That is correct.
That is most correct. That is indubitably correct.
I say.
What do you say? What do you say?
Indubitably. I can't remember where that was from, but I was just reminded of that a little bit.
But other things in life, chances are, by the time, or I say chances are, when this podcast goes out, but while we're recording it, I'm due to be going up to Birmingham tomorrow, and I will be going to Insomnia 64, which is a gaming convention that is held up there. I'd never heard of it before, but it's all planned, it's all ready to go, and yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Unsure of what's going to be happening, but for the most part, what I am going to be doing up there mainly is just networking with people. So that I can... Yes?
You continue.
No, you were going to say something?
Speaking of conventions, last Saturday, though, my brother texted me letting me know that there was apparently a local convention going on in my town. And I ended up attending. It was a very small one. There was like no, you need to register here or whatnot. It was just basically show up, walk in, look around. It was happening at the local library. It was very small, but there were some very nice things. I like how they had they dressed up the entrance to look like the TARDIS from Doctor Who, and they had the Doctor Who theme playing on loop.
Oh my god, it's bigger on the inside! Yeah, libraries usually are.
And if you were to take a full right, you'd head into this area where there are two projectors, and they're hooked up to these old gaming systems, including Street Fighter, Mario, Super Mario, and all that. And they have the classic, you know, the big pad with the joystick and the couple of
buttons. Oh yeah, those classic ones. Yeah, the one joystick or style of controller that many professionals like swear by when it comes to things like that.
Yeah, and they also had something there for spectators that I only now realize when's the last time I sat in one. They had beanbags.
Ooh, joy of joys!
I flopped in one and I was like, why haven't I got one on my own? And I
They're
realized
so
I
comfy.
do have one. I do have my own, but it's not filled up. It's still in its bag thing. I guess I'll have to sort that out.
Yeah. I wish I had
Only
a beanbag
thing
chair
that's-
now, but then again, I've got like nowhere to put it because every inch of aside from like where I need to walk for things to
Yeah,
get to
that
other
and now that I
places.
think yeah, and now that I think about it, I don't really have much of a place for it to be either. Taken up what little space I have left with my treadmill here.
Come to think of it, and I'm looking at my room at the moment. That giant futon that I've got there at the moment, I don't really sit on it, and it's also taking up quite a lot of floor space. So maybe if I sold that and bought a couple of bean bags, one, it would free up a lot of room, and second, I would actually be able to do VR stuff in here without having to move furniture around.
Yay!
Hmm.
I still can't
Who
wait to
knew
virtually
that a
hug you.
conversation about beanbags would give me such a good idea?
Good idea!
It is good idea. Yes.
The burning you feel? It is shame.
The burning you will feel? It is fire.
You're a loose cannon sandwich, but you're a damn good.
You are a loose cannon sandwich, but you are a damn good sandwich.
Speaking of which, speaking of food, I've got a video to show you later on that makes a good comparison between the differences of Overwatch and TF2, but comparing them as if they are foods, and it actually does it really goddamn well.
That sounds like that would be quite funny to watch.
It is funny, especially when he calls the different classes as different types of fruits. Like, for example, the demo man is the banana man. or you can play the Banana Man or the Banana Man Knight.
Which would you rather prefer?
Oh my goodness. Yeah, you'll love it when I show you it.
I'm looking forward to that. Yeah, we also mentioned D&D stuff earlier because you said that you were being woken up for a D&D session. Yeah, me and Mike Set have been getting involved in a spot of D&D recently, aka Dungeons and Dragons, aka that one game that everybody associates with the nerd culture, but anybody can play it. You do know that we are an inclusionary club, not what many other people seem to claim that we are.
And I'm still nervous as hell, but I do like how our second session went. It was a lot more fun.
Yeah, and it was just that last bit though, where it was just like we're fighting a gnome, and he's like he runs out of his room carrying a load of papers because we were going after him because he was an evil, sort of stereotypical, sort of Texan colonel slave trader from like the 19
And damn it, I should have listened
something.
to what Zacharias was hinting. He was trying to hint for me to look around and snoop, but I decided to play it nice and, well, not snoop around. I'd be a good kobold. I actually want a place to stay and I don't want to get in trouble. If I had have searched that door to the right and used a perception check, I would have discovered that there's something wrong here.
Yeah. But yeah, it was just that bit at the end when we did the when he came out of the room. I was just like, oh, here comes the mech. It was just, I just don't know what it was, but that just whole scene just screamed to me, there is going to be a mech turning up. I just know it. And sure enough, turned up.
Oh my goodness. Though, seriously, I didn't expect this to land. I thought you were going to boo at me and a lot of others, but dear God, everybody broke down when not that long after I suggested we need to throw something at him. I know. How about we throw that mounted bear head that he was bragging about last time we were here. And then when he was about to throw it at he was describing he was going to throw it at the cockpit. I said, "So you're basically going to give him head?"
And it was just my reaction of, oh.
You were laughing though. You were laughing though.
I have a recording of that. If anybody wants to see it, I will. When I get the time to, I will do an animation of the parts of those sessions.
Oh yeah, I'm not sure if I got the link either to the Dropbox. You said it was going to be.
It was trying to sync with the It was trying to sync it with my Dropbox account, and I don't think it actually uploaded it. So that will have to be something that I will most likely have to do when I get back from the convention this weekend, because I'm only going to be there for the one day. I'm going tomorrow. The convention's on the Saturday, and then I'm coming back on the Sunday. So
Gotcha.
that's how things are going at the moment. Anything else life that you want to talk about?
Well, it was a hectic day of shopping this night because Easter, and I did not realize that tomorrow the shop would be closed because it's Good Friday tomorrow.
Yeah, makes sense. That's actually a thing. If it's Good Friday tomorrow, where am I gonna find somewhere to get dinner? Actually, come to think of it, I need to go and look that stuff up.
And I can't remember if this is the name of it. I'm pretty sure it is, but when does Earth Hour come around?
I don't know, because Red Pie was mentioning that during the last D&D session we had. I think it's on Monday.
This Monday?
Yeah, this coming Monday.
Huh.
Earth Hour.
Yeah, if I remember correctly, we can't use any electronics for 1 hour to pay respects to the Earth.
Well, that's going to be a bit difficult for me, because I've got to leave my freezer switched on, otherwise it's going to defrost.
Those are the exceptions, I believe. But basically, we don't do computers or anything. We even switch out. Not sure if it's specific about this, but my family we even switch our phones off. And we either just sit in the lounge room and chat, or we would take a walk out in the open.
Yeah, I'd probably just go out for a walk or something. But
As
then
for
again,
me-
I go out for walks so often, it's just like, why do an Earth Hour on that one specific day? Just do it every day. Go out for a walk for an hour. You not only give all your electronics a rest, but you also get some exercise at the same time. It's good for you. It's good health.
I'll probably walk around my town block, or maybe even walk with my brother if nothing's happening.
Or you could just walk around in a circle. And by that, I don't mean like find a route and go around it multiple times. I literally just mean find somewhere in your flat, in your apartment, and just walk in a circle.
It's not a flat or an apartment.
Really? Wait, what kind of abode do you live in?
Fuck, I forgot what it's technically called. It's a house that's kind of suspended above the ground.
I know what you're talking about because I saw several of those when I was over in Australia.
And it's not by cement or anything. It's just basically above it. And if you were to remove the wooden things, you could go technically underneath the house.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, one of those types of houses.
Do you have a second story to it, or is it just one?
It's just one story.
So that would technically be a bungalow, I believe.
Yeah, it might be. And it took me a while to get used to it because I went from get used to living in a cement floored house to this, and plus I just I wasn't used to the fact that when you step around you can hear it. Well, if I were to do that in all the other houses, all you'd hear was probably just the carpet, just barely, but no rumble throughout the house.
Sort of hollow wood flooring in a kind of sense.
But not only did I get
I'm
used...
pretending to know what I'm talking about.
Not only did I get used to it, though, I also kind of prefer it this way now, because whenever I go through those moments where I'm either very paranoid or I thought I heard something, I just think to myself, well, if someone was in the house, I definitely hear it. This house gets very creaky in certain areas that I know. Plus, if they're nabbing anything, there's no way that the added extra weight wouldn't make a noise.
Yeah, exactly. So, yes, now time to move on to the gaming side of things. I got you back into playing Guild Wars 2 today, didn't I?
Yep, you certainly did, but only mainly when you're doing the stream because I want to help out, and I won't, and you're doing your personal story. Ah, it's so nice to be back there, but I'm also reminded why I like and don't like the cosmetics of Guild Wars 2. Unlike in Warframe, the cosmetics rotate around. Like I saw a couple of mount ones I immediately wanted to get. I have the gems, but they're just not available at the moment. They're not on the store rotation. I kind of don't like that because I'm too used to Warframes. Everything is out there.
Yeah, I'm not sure why they do that. I think, like I said, it's just to keep the store interesting or to keep it, fresh so that there's not like too much on at one time. Because I can kind of understand why they would do that.
Yeah, so
But
can I, but I'm still gonna complain about it.
well, it's not like it's a problem for me. I can't afford any of the stuff anyway. I think like 600 gems or 800 gems is like £8.50 or something. I'm just like, I can't really afford that at the moment.
Servers that I've joined in other games, like for example back in Gmod, and even recently because I only recently just got back into Gmod just a little bit because my friend Sacrius kept jumping in these cinema servers, and I noticed that some of them have they all have these point systems, and some of the ones even have available avatar you can buy that is basically the pony avatar, which means I can literally be mic set. And that, and along with Warframe, makes me realize again, oh yeah, I am a huge fucking sucker for cosmetics and customization. Take XCOM 2 for example. A large majority of the 417 mods I've got installed are cosmetics.
Yeah, because I can remember when you were setting up quote unquote me within the game. I think we were there for like anywhere from about half an hour to a whole hour, just going through and going, right, what do you think of this cosmetic? Do you like this cosmetic? What does this cosmetic look like? How about this one? What about that one? How about this? How about that? And of course, I went with
Yep.
the sniper's voice as well because he's got that mod installed.
Yep.
Which is kind of, and the funny thing is, I'm actually running around as a heavy weapons specialist. So I'm voiced as the sniper, but I'm running around with heavy weapons. So yay, logic.
Logic.
Logic. In terms of other games, I've not really been playing much else outside of TF2. No, not TF2. I haven't played TF2 in ages. Guild Wars 2. That was the one I was supposed to say. I think it's Warframe and maybe Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links. And yeah, I've been playing a lot of Yakuza 0 as well for evening streams over on Twitch. But other than that, I've not really played much else. I mean, I noticed when I was starting up Steam today that Angels Fall First has got another update. I really should give that another try. There was also that game called Origami, which is kind of like a stealth. It's a stealth game that's got a lot of different like little abilities and things that you can use. It's almost kind of like a puzzle in a way, in the fact that you can either choose to just sneak around everybody, or you can literally just sneak up behind them and stab them in the back. But the thing is, if you get spotted by them and they attack you, you're pretty much dead in one hit. So
Oh boy.
it's pretty challenging. I mean, I died so many times initially because I was just like, oh no, shit, they've seen me, I've got to get out of here. But no, they immediately pull out their blades, which are light-based. They slash their swords, they send out like a beam of light at you, and if you just get hit by it, you just instantly die because you are effectively a shadow creature. And for once, the guys wielding the light are actually the bad guys. So, yeah, I actually really did enjoy that game. So, I would strongly recommend to anybody that actually wants to play that game, Origami, which is spelt Aragami. Yeah, go pick it up on Steam, and they've also gotten some DLC for it as well, which I haven't actually played yet. So, strongly recommend to get that. Also, just remembered, I put that game code up for the main game and the DLC for channel members to go and claim. So, assuming that nobody has claimed it yet, maybe consider becoming a channel member and, going and getting the code, assuming that it still works. So, you never know. Hint, hint.
Sell out.
Help me out here. Hey, I've got to plug my wares somehow.
And speaking of gaming, I remember mentioning once that Payday 2 stopped kind of working for me. I kept getting constantly disconnected from peer-to-peer connections to the point it was unplayable. Now it's just buggered off. I don't know why. I don't know if this is a network thing. I don't know if it's just peer-to-peer thing. It just seems random. Those are the types of problems I hate the most that I ever encounter. Problems you don't know why, they're just random, you just know that they happen. Take this for example, every time when I go into VR chat, sometimes my frame rate will be permanently kept at 19, sometimes 30, and it needs to be above 80 or 90 frames per second, no less. And sometimes I then get the good frame rate, but I lose it if I look at a mirror, or I sometimes don't, or I do when I go near a chaperone. It's all random, and I don't know why. No one knows why. Every time when I get a recommendation here or clear your cache, I did all that same thing, and it's just that game.
That seems to happen with me when I use Source Filmmaker, but then again, it's Source Filmmaker, so there's a lot of problems. But sometimes when I'm on specific maps, or when I look at specific things, or I have something selected and all their points are visible, the frame rate for the game just tanks. And then the minute I either click off of it,
open or the graph editor, yeah, it's basically registering and showing all of those things, and yeah, the more bones you have selected, and if you're in one of those two editors, yeah, the more your computer's gonna chug. Trust me, I know.
it's not that my computer can't handle it, because if it couldn't handle it, I wouldn't be using Source Filmmaker. But yeah, it's just it just happens randomly, and then on some other maps that have like a really really complicated, I don't get that problem. So I'm just like, what the hell is going on with this? It may be because I'm using like a map that I ported over from Gary's mod, so it probably doesn't like that. And my phone's ringing.
Gotta go fast.
Yeah, I'll have to call them back. So yeah, unfortunately, I'll yes, I have to phone them back, or we will probably just have to end the podcast there. I don't know how long this went on for, so
We'll hurry this up. Shall we just skip past the gaming thing now? We've already talked about a few games.
yeah, because I don't really have anything else to talk about, to be perfectly honest. So, did you actually hear my ringtone from
Yes.
there? Yeah, I know, it was...
Why do you think I said gotta go fast? I was hearing that.
Yeah, that is what my ringtone is for my phone. But yeah, is there anything else you want to add before we make a very exponential exit, because I've got to phone this person back, so...
Nah, I think that's about it. Is there anything else we should add for the next part? What was it, news that we normally talk about? Or have we expunged that?
No, I don't really have anything to talk about news-wise, so...
Not even DSP?
No, nothing, aside from the fact that he pretty much lied to everybody to get married, and he took money off of them.
Oh, God.
Yeah, I will show you a video on that later. But yeah, anyway, folks, that is the end of the podcast for this week. So thank you for watching, listening, or doing whatever you're doing to engage in this. And as always, Heavy Weapons Guy says...
Okay, enough.